Hey, life ruined, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to do my second album review. In fact, I will be doing double uploads pretty much every single day in December until this week because I have a lot to review. Today I'm going to do a pretty special album review. Pretty special. Because I will be doing a review on I by Chen Yu, or Jason Chan, who is a singer and songwriter in Hong Kong, though I'm pretty confident that he didn't write most of his own songs. Anyways, so given the Hong Konger that I'm a Hong Konger. Cantonese is actually my first language. I'm born and raised here. I told myself, you know what? I'm gonna listen to some local music. So I reacted to a bunch of local music yesterday, and it's boring. I hate to say this, but Kanto Pop music is just not for me, because as far as I can tell, 90% of all the Kanto Pop songs in Hong Kong are all guitar ballads. First off, you're gonna have the sad pianos and the sad guitars, and then afterwards you're going to get a very melodramatic performance by the singers, and usually the song is about love, heartbroken love, and we get a very repetitive chorus, maybe a little guitar solo at the end, and then the song is over in about 3 to 4 minutes. Pretty much every single song is a carbon copy of the first song that sounds like this, and it's so goddamn boring and bland. This is exactly the reason why in 18 years of my life, I have never gotten into Kanto Pop music, and every time someone plays Kanto Pop music, I just want to shut it off. I just want to shut my ears off because it's just so bland and so boring. But given the culture detective that I am, I've gotten into a lot of different genres of music, avant-garde jazz, black metal, Japanese pop music. So I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give Kanto Pop music another go. So I reacted to it yesterday, and it's just as boring as I thought it is. Though I'm not gonna say it's terrible, because the chord progressions of these Kanto Pop songs are actually legitimately good. They have a lot of potential. They are dreamy, nostalgic, sad, yes, but also has that magical vibe that could really transform the song into a really moving and emotional ballad. And truth be told, there were a couple of songs I reacted to yesterday that actually clicked for me, but for the most part, they're all really bland, really formulaic. They're all very uninspiring, very unimaginative, and they're still very bad. So anyways, I decided to review album by album instead. Not only am I going to react to Kanto Pop music, I'm also going to review Kanto Pop albums, and also Kanto Rock and Kanto Rap if there are any, and Kanto Metal if there are any. So I'm going to start off easy with Jason Chan's I. And what I realized from checking out a few Kanto Pop albums and Kanto Rock albums is that they're all really short, like 30 minutes, about 30 minutes in length, 8 tracks, and these artists, they release albums almost every single year, to a point it's getting really repetitive, washed out, sort of quantity over quality at the end of the day. Yes, small album, but every album is released every year. And as you can see, I'm reviewing Jason Chan's I, and this album is exactly what I thought Kanto Pop would sound like. It's bland. Pretty much every single track is a slow, quiet, stripped-back guitar ballad. And honestly, if that's the case, I don't really mind it, because there are a lot of albums out there in the West, or even in Japan, and in Europe, which is part of the West. There are albums that are also in a similar vein, just a bunch of slow ballads. And they work out because even though it's just a bunch of slow ballads, there are, versatility. There is versatility, and there is a level of emotional power and impact to those albums that really push this album forward to become something engaging and compelling. But I see nothing impactful about Jason Chan's Eye right here. It's just a bunch of guitar ballads. It's really boring. But more than that, I think the biggest complaint I have with this album is that there isn't any emotional value overall to this album. It's just a bunch of guitar ballads. The lyrical topics are here and there, and it's all very formulaic. Even for ballads, you can strip it back and then build tension in order to make it more cinematic and compelling, but I see none of that in this album. There is literally no versatility in this album. There is no creativity in this album whatsoever. That's kind of funny because the album opener is called Söng, Chong, which roughly translates to imagination or creativity. And I'm going to be honest here, it's already one of the better tracks on the entire album. It starts out really annoying with this constantly tapping sounds, just bop, 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 and it's just so goddamn annoying. But afterwards, they fade away, and we are revealed to a pretty plain and simple piano ballad with a string-backed chorus and emotional lyrics about using your imaginations to get through adversity, which is really nice. The one thing that bogs me about this track is the la 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 la's at the end of the track. Every time they ran out of lyrical ideas, they just fill the entire verse with la 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 la's. It's not cool. It's the 2010s. This album was released in 2017. And then we have the second track, Jün Tąu, or Brick. And we have the, lyrics about, oh yeah, you can throw a brick at my face and I would still stand up. I will stand strong, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, And it's just a calm piece of piano ballad. It's not even sad or dramatic, just really low-key, calm piano ballad that has nothing going for it. The blandness does not stop on the third track, 行屍走肉, which roughly translates to The Walking Dead. And it's a very boring and plain ballad. It doesn't change much in terms of chord progressions, and we get these relaxing pianos and strings. I kind of appreciate the fact that the musical tone of this track does not fit the title at all, but it's still very boring and formulaic. The fourth track is truly an anomaly. It's called 勉強共勉之, which 勉強 means phoning it in, like, I don't want to do it, but whatever, I'll still do it. And 共勉之 means supporting each other, And 勉強共勉之 is like we're forced to support each other, but we actually don't support each other. And it's actually a very upbeat track. It's a fun guitar jam. It has a catchy verse, catchy choruses that are very pumped up. It's not a bad track, but the hook of this track is absolute fucking garbage. Ya, 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 ya. Again, every time they ran out of lyrical ideas, they just fill it with noises, like la 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 or ya ya ya, like you're a baby. Get over it. And then the rest of the album, we have Sodom City, which is actually a Bible reference, if you can't tell, 所多瑪城. And it's another sad string-backed, piano-backed track with a bit of electric guitars in the middle, like it's a 70s rock song or something, except it's not. It's very much your average formulaic ballad. The next track, 交叉神經, aka Crossfire Nerves, is another boring guitar ballad. It's plain, it's bland, and lyrically it's about, at first I thought it's about going insane because your nerves crossfiring, like T-scene, which is a slang term for people who's like crazy. But it's actually about, trying to sympathize and empathize with, your other significant half, helping your other half, your lover, so crossfire nerves, like, oh, my nerves are going into your nerves and your nerves are going into mine, we're vibing with each other, you know what I mean? And it's just a pretty normal lyrical topic. The second last track is閱後即焚, or Burn After Reading. This track is actually named after the Coen brothers movie Burn After Reading. Actually, I read the description to the video. And it's another boring, quiet, stripped back guitar ballad that sounds exactly the same like the 2 previous tracks or the first 3 tracks of the entire album. And what's even worse about this track is the production. I don't know what the hell happened to the production, but this track stands out because everything's just muffled. It's just slightly muffled. Something's wrong. I don't know why. And then the album ends off with the big single 霸氣情歌, or it roughly translates to overpowering love song, overbearing, dominating love song, but the word dominating or overbearing is in a positive light. And it's still a pretty plain and typical little ballad, with the pianos and the guitars. But I'll say this, the verses are more toned down and the choruses are a little bit more dramatic and hooky for the tension release, and it's also slightly catchy, and it serves as a pretty sweet ending to the album. It's a love song, of course, but it's whatever. What do you expect? So, even though this album only has 8 tracks, it still sounds like a really slow and boring album, because a majority of the tracks on the album is basically a wasteland of boring guitars and boring slow pianos with no change and emotional drive whatsoever. There are a couple of standout moments here and there, but none of them are all that great or anything. So it's bland, it's boring, it's not terrible, it's just very fucking boring. And my favorite track here is maybe the album opener, or 勉強共勉之, and my least favorite is probably Burn After Reading or Sodom City. I'm giving 陳柏宇 I with light 5 out of 10. So, have you listened to this album, Jason Chan's I, from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Leave a like it and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Yay! I will be reviewing more local music very, very soon.